Hey guys, welcome to Snowbreak Containment Zone. So let's check out how Katya is going to be built. She is clearly the most fun character that I've played, especially for ballistic damage so far. So let's start off with her skills. We'll start off with her standard skill, Wings of Spacetime. This is a damage skill. Cooldown is zero point 0.8 seconds. Energy cost or S energy cost is 0. Katya deploys a dimensional amplifier which continuously consumes S energy. So from full, it will consume it up until 0, then disappear. The dimensional pursuit cannons on each side of it will assist in attacks, dealing frost damage. Shooting through the dimensional amplifier will enhance its phase, increasing its size. So the maximum phase is going to be at phase 3. When Katya's shots pass through it and hit a target, increases her ballistic damage. So it's a ballistic damage amplifier, basically. So while the dimensional amplifier is active, Katya's S energy will be at 0. If she holds a standard skill, dodges through the dimensional amplifier, or leaves the field, the dimensional amplifier is returned and she recovers S energy based on its phase. So the higher the phase, the higher S energy she technically recovers. When entering the combat after dodging, Katya gains some temporal factor. She sprints while she has any temporal factor. She enters temporal sprinting state, which consumes temporal factor. If no dimensional amplifier is active while she is in this state, she recovers additional S energy. Gatling gun operatives cannot utilize cover. Clearly. So the temporal factor is somehow, I would say, is her turbo mode, which she sprints, which she glides actually fast. You can actually regain temporal factor, the energy for this, when you do a dodge. So that is just something to think about. Her neural skills, when the dimensional amplifier is at phase 3, each assist attack by the dimensional pursuit cannons replenishes 7 bullets for Katya. When the phase 3 dimensional amplifier is returned, she replenishes 50 bullets for herself. So when the dimensional amplifier is active, this is for the second one, increases Katya's anti-interruption ability. Katya's final damage taken also decreases according to the dimensional amplifier phase, up to a reduction of 30%. Next up is going to be her support skill. It's going to be Frozen Fall. Cooldown is 15 seconds. S energy cost is 5. Katya slashes through space-time, dealing frost damage and knocking targets into the air. Suspending them there, she follows up a continuous attack, dealing frost damage. So all of these guys I'm going to be doing a demo after we have discussed her build. So let's proceed first to the neural skill of this support skill. When the support skill ends early because the target was defeated, decrease cooldown by 5 seconds. When the target's HP is below 50%, decrease Katya's support skill final damage dealt by 20%. Next up is going to be Deluge of Destruction. So we have an ultimate. Cooldown is 5 seconds. U energy cost is going to be at 12. So I would highly suggest that you do this as a stay in, so that if you're using another character, once you do the quick ultimate, Katya will be the main operative once this is done. So Katya floats up in the air and continuously bombards the target with Shard Storm and Razor Hill cannons, dealing frost damage. Defeating a target during the bombardment increases the skill's remaining duration. So technically, she pulls out around 6 cannons for this. This is a nice ultimate which roughly can target up to 10 targets at a time. So neural skills after 600 seconds. Katya can use ultimate skill once without consuming U energy. For every 1 target defeated by ultimate skill, decreases U energy consumed by Katya's next ultimate skill by 3 to a minimum of 0. The last one is going to be for Dewa's alignment, Fading Calamity 4. When equipped with a frost weapon, increase Katya's weapon compatibility by an extra 8%. So compatibility, by the way, increases your damage. So each 100 alignment index increases her attack by an extra 5%. For our logistics, we'll start off with Prism. This one is available in the current event shop. So at 2 officers, increase frost damage by 24%. At 3 officers, if equipped by Katya Rhapsody, after dealing frost damage, gains 1 stack of Icy Calm. At 10 stacks, increases her attack by 25%. At 20 stacks, increases her ballistic damage by 20%. At 30 stacks, increases full squad's frost damage by 15. An example of this would be Akasha Kaguya should you choose to have her as one of your supports. This increases the frost damage dealt by her support attack. Then Icy Calm has a max of 30 stacks and lasts for 0.5 seconds. At max stats, gaining any more stacks resets the effect's duration. So let's take a look at one of the logistics here. So the ideal stat technically would be attack and your alignment index. I don't see any other stat that would benefit her. I don't also think that the S energy gain would also benefit her. So definitely build her with alignment index and attack plus 10%. Ideally, alignment index should be 106 and then your attack stat should be at 10%. Then the third stat is going to be frost damage. So for our manifestations, we'll start off with M1. So M1 is frostbite delay after a target is hit by a dimensional pursuit cannon or cannons. Increase its ballistic damage taken from Katya by 18% for 1 second. The next one is going to be at M2 Wintertide Rewind. When the dimensional amplifier is at phase 3, increases full squad's frost damage by 20%, not an additional. It just scales up to 20%. Then at M3, we do have Reborn from Ice. When a shot passes through the dimensional amplifier and hits a target, decreases its defense by 1% for 1 second up to 15%. So ideally, you have to build Katya up to M3. It's really easy to build her up to M3. Plus, M3 is going to be decreasing the defense of the target by 1%. I think this is going to be a max of 15%. So that is going to be a lot. So definitely level her up to M3. As we go up further, M4 is Cold Flow Mastery. When Wings of Spacetime skill level +1 increases Dimensional Pursuit Cannon's assist attack damaged to 31.9% of Katya attack plus 36. Then the last one for her manifestations is probably one of the most intriguing ones that I've seen for an M5. In Icebound Stars, increase attack by 10%. If there is at least one other Frost operative in the squad, increases attack by an extra 10%. So what does this mean? It will require you to bring an additional Frost operative. I'm actually wishing that Tess is a Frost operative so that you won't have any problem in probably pairing her with a single Frost operative. But if Tess is not a Frost operative, the ideal one to pair her with your M5 is gonna be Akasha Kaguya, since also Akasha Kaguya's gun or signature weapon will have a frost damage buff to Katya herself. So both will synergize well, but I'm actually looking forward to Tess having an ice or freeze element to her kit. So for Neuronics, the priority will be as follows. Level up the top level because this is for her standard skill. Then the next priority will be the bottom level, which is her ultimate skill. And the last priority is in the middle, which is going to be for her support skill. So for our weapon options, let's go back to the weapon comparison in terms of effects. The first one is going to be Infinite Chronos Tier 5. This is an SR variant of the Gatling gun, which is actually very farmable in the event shop right now. S Energy Restore is going to be 0.3 after 6 shots hit. Frost damage is a plus 30% and ballistic damage is a plus 30% as well. If you compare it with a tier 1 Cobalt Cyclone, this is an SSR weapon and this is Katya's signature weapon. The attack is at 18% only, but if you take it to tier 2, it goes up to 30%. S Energy Restore is at 0.5 after 6 shots hit. Ballistic damage is 36% initially at tier 1, but increases to 60%. So this activates through shooting and skill release. And the last one is ballistic damage taken is at 18%, but increases to 30% once you have this weapon to tier 2. This is when the skill hits. So, if I may say, it really depends on if you're playing free to play. Definitely the SR variant is actually okay. If you compare it to the tier 1, they are kind of in comparison with each other. I think the only difference would be probably a plus 20% bump for Cobalt Cyclone tier 1. But at tier 2, the increase is significant. Attack would be 30%, ballistic damage would be 60%. So that's a huge increase for tier 2. Ballistic damage taken is also a huge increase at 30%. Take note, guys, just want to give you a tip. If you get Cobalt Cyclone right now at tier 1, when the selector, comes around, you could select the materials to buy the tier 2 of Cobalt Cyclone in the shop. So you don't need to roll for the tier 2 upgrade. You can get copies or resources from the selector of the weapon. So obviously, you're not going to be selecting any of the weapons there. You're going to be getting the resources. Then buy the Cobalt Cyclone from the current shop if you already have the weapon at tier 1. So for team options, the first thing that comes to mind is going to be Fenny Starshine. So Fenny Starshine gives additional ballistic damage, plus she gives you a faster reroll and a larger magazine capacity. She is probably my primary support right now, as we are actually waiting for tests to come out. The next option is definitely going to be Akasha Kaguya. Akasha Kaguya's gun is going to be giving you a plus in frost damage for the deployed operative. This is actually a nice bonus to have. Plus, if you bring Akasha Kaguya in your lineup for your M5, she can activate the plus 10% for your attack. The other one that I would want to, you guys to have as well is the Ichel the Cub. Ichel, no-brainer. If you're not as nimble using Katya in your battles, you have to bring a healer definitely. And Ichel can be one of the useful supports that you have just for survivability alone. The other support that I would like you guys to consider is actually Chenxing the Observer. Chenxing is both a buffer, a attack buffer, plus a healer as well. So you can take her as well. She's an all-in package. And the other healer, which surprisingly I'm recommending because only of her freeze affinity, is going to be Yao Quiet Quitter. Again, for Katya's kit, you would need somebody who is of Frost element, and you might not have one. So Yao Quiet Quitter could be one of those operatives. As for the damage side, let's go back to Celestial Swan Vidya. So Celestial Swan Vidya is actually one of the the most all-around supports that we have. She's also useful in terms of her all-around defense decrease, and in terms of taking care of elemental resistance, specifically for a specific element, which is freeze. So that is it. There are a lot of supports actually that can help Katya in her lineup. It's just, it really depends on what is available to you and what do you prefer as your playstyle. We do still have tests to be shown in a couple of days, so we might as well add tests to the list. So for our demo with Katya, Rhapsody will bring along Fenny Starshine and Akasha Kaguya. So let's start off showcasing the ultimate first before we do anything else. There you go. So this one is gonna be targeting, it can actually target a lot of different locations and a maximum of 10 targets per instance of your ultimate attack. If we're going to be using the support skill, by the way, so right now we do have We do have Fennec Starshine. Let's do the support skill. There you go. So she appears on the field and she goes out. So as for her standard skill, we're gonna be doing a, the usual rotation that I have, which is Fenny, then Kaguya, then the shield, then shoot. You have to shoot in between the amplifier so that you could avail of the damage bonus, and you could actually just refill Fenny as you go along. So that is it. That is your basic, use of Katya, Rhapsody, and I'll wrap this up in the next one. So my thoughts on Katya Rhapsody is, number one, the most fun that I've had in a ballistic damage, ballistic damage operative. I thought Chenxing Jade Ark's kit was already fun, but her kit is actually the most fun in terms of ballistic damage. She does, though, lack the mobility that Chenxing Jade Arc has, but she makes up for it in sustained damage is crazy. And if you can just buff it or have debuffs on the enemy, it is crazy. It's gonna be quick. Your enemies are gonna be falling quick. So again, I'd probably say that she is my DPS queen right now. I can't, I'd have to go with her. Guys, build her. If you are a free-to-play player, please build her. She's gonna be good investment for everybody, free-to-play, dolphins, whales. Again, her gun is terrific, her kit is terrific, and we still do have tests to come out. So let's wait for that and let's see what tests can give her. But definitely the freeze, the freeze theme is actually here, and we might have to bring at least one freeze operative along with her. That is it, guys. Comment down in the comment section what do you think. Take care, stay safe. This is the Warden, and I'm out of here.